No one will listen. You know that. There is only one way to stop him. We have to kill him.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Greg and Ryan here for another breakdown of American Horror Story Cult.
But before we break down episode 6 of American Horror Story Cult, be sure to subscribe because we break down episodes of Star Trek Discovery, The Flash, and Mr. Robot.
As always, guys, thank you so much for your support. This episode is titled Midwestern Assassin, so be careful, there are spoilers ahead. All right, let's jump in.
Let's do it. Now, depending upon where you watched the episode, either on TV, on demand, or streaming through FX, the opening was actually recut due to the recent tragedy in Las Vegas. The re-edited opening was 45 seconds shorter and avoided showing anyone actually getting shot on camera. Everyone else watched a version that showed at least 3 people getting shot on screen. All right, Greg, so you and I watched both versions of this episode, and we both thought it was a good idea for the producers to change this opening.
Yeah, it was. Out of respect for the families and friends involved in this, it was a good idea for them to switch it this week.
Yeah, a little too traumatic of an opening sequence for viewers to see, especially right after that horrific tragedy in Las Vegas. So good job, producers, Ryan Murphy, good job. Let's jump into the episode.
Yeah.
Drop the gun now.
Get on your knees. Let me see your hands. Let me see your hands. Let me see your hands.
Okay, so let's jump into the episode a little deeper, and let's look at the first thing. Number 1 would have to be Meadow and Kai, their relationship.
Yeah, we learned a lot more in the backstory between these two. We learned how much Kai has used her, the relationship that she thought she was in. She thought she was in love, but Kai, we know Kai can manipulate basically anyone. She was making the masks, at least the designs for the masks, and she helps Kai pull off one of his greatest stunts or plans in the entire season.
But to me, you're everything. You're the only one who sees me.
Yeah, so last week I said there may be a long con here with Meadow and Allie, just because the way that scene was set up.
Yeah.
And we got it. For halfway through it, I thought maybe she is actually on her side at some point, but nope. They detoured that pretty quickly, and yeah, it was a long con with Kai the whole time, just for an assassination attempt.
Yeah, you were totally right that she was in on it the whole time, that she let Allie think that she was, on her side, but Kai had bigger plans.
I know I've asked a lot, but a larva bee has to shed its skin to become the queen. It can be painful, but the dark must prevail to bring forth the light.
Okay, so on the flip side of that, he says that line to everybody. We find out later on. It's bullshit.
Yeah, so Meadow thinks that she's in love, thinks that he loves her.
Nope.
But, these people don't mean anything to him. They are just tools in his end game trying to, cause mass hysteria. And he's very good at manipulating those around him in order to take advantage of their weakness.
Cult leader.
You used the word cult. You said my wife was involved.
She is.
Next up, we find out that Ivy was not in the cult when she and Winter tied up Gary Longstreet.
Yeah, we were unsure about this. We didn't know if she was already on Kai's side, but we find out that she was then, the day after, introduced to Kai. She was actually freaking out that she was gonna go to jail, that Gary would go to the cops, but Winter assures her that everything will be okay, that her brother can take care of anything.
So far he can.
Yeah, it just still, Ivy. She's such ridiculous.
So it was about Jill Stein.
Not only Jill Stein, but about Allie's, carrying the baby, going through the pregnancy, and kind of Ivy feeling as an outsider in her own home. You would think if you're unhappy in a relationship, you would just ask for a divorce and go your separate ways. Clearly, Ivy just wants to join a cult and drive her ex-wife, soon-to-be ex-wife, into hysteria.
All right, so Gary cuts his arm off. That's the first red flag.
Yeah.
Second one, you get the satanic murder of Bob. At this point, if you're Ivy and you're in that mask and you're thinking to yourself, maybe I should just got a divorce lawyer or something at this point. Now she's trapped. She's stuck.
Yeah, I mean, she could have just got a lawyer, maybe even some couples therapy before this, but join the cult. That's way on the list that any normal human being should be thinking of.
And on that same note with Kai, he treats everyone like shit, and I mean everyone, so his sister too. She's a tool in this whole thing.
Yeah, he's offering up his sister Winter to Ivy to make her happy, to basically to appease her to join the cult. No one matters to this guy.
He's playing a game in his own head right now with every character.
Yeah, and then we learn also that basically the entire, everything that's gone down in Allie's life is just to make her insane, and so that no court would ever give her full custody of Ozzy, and that Ivy would have him. And basically that's her admission into the cult. You know, he can give that to her.
Well, then we'll just have to make sure no court ever grants her custody.
Next up, we were introduced to a new character, Sally Kefler. She didn't last long, though.
Yeah, you knew right after that appearance in the courthouse that when she challenged him in front of everybody, you knew that was not going to end well for her.
Nope.
People like Mr. Anderson and Trump are not the garbage. They are the flies that the garbage has drawn.
She spoke the truth, so obviously she wasn't gonna last long. So Allie gets a friend finally for only 2 minutes into the episode. She explains everything to Sally, what's going on. I'm just shaking my head at home going, up, here we go. She's telling her every line.
Yeah.
Who's in the cult? What's going on? And then when she believes her, I'm like, okay, well, Horace 101, she's a goner, and quickly everything changed on her.
Yeah, the entire clown crew shows up, and they basically want to make it look like a suicide. And one of the big takeaways from this whole sequence was the fact that Allie noticed that Ivy was behind one of those masks. By the way, that mask is pretty dope, the one that is back.
I want that for Halloween.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that, not only that, that Ivy let her live. That didn't give away her location to any of the other clowns. Because I have a feeling that if Kai saw her over there, something bad would have happened.
It would have been over.
Yeah.
They don't need her at this point anymore. He knows it's only a tool for Ivy to keep her going with him.
Exactly. I mean, he's already brought up the idea to Ivy of murdering her, and they could probably do it and make it look like it was an accident and never get caught. So, Ivy, you know, she might redeem herself.
She may be Allie's only saving grace at the end here.
Guys, time for Greg's favorite part of this segment. It's Clown Counter. But this might be the last week. If they don't introduce any more new clowns, then, you know, we're gonna stop this because I don't want to scare you off too much. 7 clowns. 7 clowns all showed up at Sally's, and they murdered her.
Also, quick side note on these clowns. When Allie sneaks by Detective Samuels and Harrison screwing to go get Meadow, that brings us back to the first episode. So that means these two are these two. And there it is, folks. Boom.
Now, this show is packed with a ton of great lines, but what was your favorite from episode 6?
Oh, it's gotta be from one of my personal favorite characters in the show, Meadow.
Oh, can I have a cappuccino?
Would you just be quiet, please?
Looks like that's gonna be the last one we get from her, unless there's some flashbacks, which I'm not, hey, I don't doubt there may be some more scenes with Meadow in the future with flashbacks. We'll see.
Yeah, speaking of cappuccino, how good is the coffee at this restaurant? Didn't Sally also say something about the coffee?
They did.
I want to go check out this coffee shop, the coffee they have there at this restaurant. My favorite line was actually an exchange between Sally and Kai right before he killed her.
Already getting some likes.
No one's gonna believe any of that.
Of course they will. It's on Facebook.
No!
So I'm telling you, the Nazis did go to the moon, all right? Facebook tells us right here, right there.
Oh my God, I had no idea.
Yes.
Time now to discuss who won the episode. I think this is a no-brainer. It's Kai.
Oh yeah. The man planned his own assassination attempt, and it succeeded.
Yeah. I mean, you can't top that. And he got rid of all of his competition in the political race. He is just flexing his power amongst all of his followers.
Yep.
He's still driving the public into mass hysteria and fear. Who can stop Kai?
Nobody. And everything was recorded on camera, but remember, it was Beverly's camera that was recording everything.
Yes.
So even that, Allie has no one to go to for help right now. Not a single person. She's Okay, so we have one last question, and it's on Dr. Vincent. I'm convinced he's in the cult.
Yep.
Somehow, he's still controlling things. But that scene with Meadow, where he tells Allie that Meadow just left after the phone call she got from Kai, do you believe him?
I think that that was all made up. And that he was just telling that to Allie. And that what we saw between Meadow and Dr. Vincent didn't really happen that way. That was just for the audience to get this fake facade that he's on Allie's side.
You think he
But
gave...
that in reality, he knows exactly Kai's plan. They're too close for him not to know.
He gave her the last push
Yes.
to finish her goal.
Yeah, so if Kai is kind of setting everything up as best he can, and why not have his therapist's older brother kind of do a little bit more of the last minute pushing in order to, pull the trigger.
Okay, I can see this. I'm down. I'll go with this.
Any other questions that you have at the end of this?
How far can this cult go, honestly, at this point? Before anyone catches on to what's going on right now.
Yeah.
With Kai. I mean, it's so obvious at this point. Sally's now dead. The newscasters are getting offed one by one. Anyone who crosses Kai is gone.
There's way too many bodies piling up around Kai and around the people that Kai hangs with. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out, make the connection between some of these deaths. So yeah, I agree with you. I mean, how long will this go before someone comes in and can prove what's going on? Or will Allie have to prove it?
Okay, one last thing. What pills are Kai popping earlier in the episode?
We've seen that a few times in this season. I have no clue. Guys, if you guys know, let us know in the comments below. Let us know what you guys thought of the episode, what theories you might have for the rest of the season. We'll be back, of course, next week with episode 7. And hopefully, no more clowns, right?
Oh, please, no more clowns.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
We need fresh blood.
You need to trust me.
Men always push the women aside.
Can I count on you?
I know what it means to assassinate a man.
Brought to you by The Evil Within 2. The Evil Within 2, available October 13th.